This segment of the iView video training series is going to focus on reports. The topics will be pre-configured reports that are already built for you, custom reports, create a PDF, XLS, or CSV file so we can share these reports with others, add a custom logo to a report, as well as scheduling reports. We'll pull up our iView interface and begin. Reports has a button right here on the toolbar, and notice we have a menu arrow alongside it. Select that, and this gives us a list of the pre-configured reports that we already have. I'm not going to run all of these. I simply want you to be aware of them, but I will run a couple. So under the alarms category, we have alarm actions, sources, and alarms themselves. Actions is that interface between iView and the outside world. Sources is everything within the system that can create an alarm. And the alarms themselves are everything that is currently an active alarm. Commissioning has equipment checkout as well as test and balance. So if you have VAV boxes that were balanced by an air balance contractor, the test and balance report will end up pulling that calibrated information out in a format that you can end up hanging on to and make sure that everything in the building was taken care of. Nothing in my system has been calibrated, but I will show you the report. All reports, you must hit the run button, and you can see this is a copy of the test and balance report that shows the location and the zone name, when it was calibrated, and if it was calibrated, as well as what the calibration values were that were in place at the time that it was done. I can go back up here to my menu. Another handy report is equipment checkout. Remember back when we talked about our equipment in the properties page, on a piece of equipment, we have equipment checkout. And this is where we had our information regarding our notes. If I go to the top of my system and run commissioning equipment checkout, here is every piece of equipment and then all of the checkout notes so that I can pull all of this information together in one easy, quick to access format. Next, we have equipment. One of the most important reports that we have within our system is equipment locked values. I'll select that one and run it. So this is everything that has a locked value within our system. Again, ours is simply for demonstration purposes. So we have a lot of stuff that is locked for the exercises that we've gone through in these videos. However, in your systems, you want to have as little locked as possible because you want to make sure that your system is fully automatic in the way that it operates. So this locked values report ends up becoming very, very handy. On to the next. We also have a point list report, so you can have a full point list of everything that you want, a trend usage report, parameter mismatch. So if you have anything that is not synced up correctly, changes in the controllers that didn't make it to the database or vice versa, this report will show you if you have that condition. We don't have any problem, so it simply says no results found using current options. Another thing to be aware of when running reports, let's find a long one, and we'll pull up point list, is under options, we have all of this criteria that we can have included in our report. If I select everything within this, hit accept. Notice my page size is set for letter and portrait format. I'm going to run the report, and it gives me an error. Columns will not fit on specified page size. Select fewer columns or change the page size or orientation. So I'm going to change this to 11 by 17 in landscape format, accept, and run. And it still doesn't fit. because of how much information I have spread across this thing. So let's get a little bit more choosy in what these columns are. So I'm going to take out path, and then I'm not really interested in the checkout notes stuff. And let's try it that way and run it. Now, notice I didn't get any kind of an error. And notice how long it's taking to run this report, because I'm getting every single point in my very, very small system. Now imagine what this would take if you were working with a very large system. So I want to change this a little bit. First of all, max number of rows. If I wanted to get truly a full report of everything in my system, I might want to increase this to maybe 1,000,000 rows so that it grabs everything. If I want to make it a little bit shorter, I can make it a max number of 10 rows. Hit run. You see how quickly that came up. However, report content limited to 10 rows. Raise this limit in options to see more. So I had a situation where I had a large system. I set this number up to like 100,000 rows, but it did not end up catching everything. So after it took hours to run this very long report, I still didn't have it all. So err on the side of caution if you're truly trying to catch everything. The other piece that you can do to narrow down what this is doing is limit it to physical points only. We don't necessarily need all of the backnet points, so we can narrow it down to just the hardwired points. Accept, run. So the report is running. We can see the dots updating here. So it is actually doing something, so you don't have to wonder what's happening. And now it returned all of our physical points, where we are in the system, and this is everything within our iView functionality of physically connected points that we have available to us. If you have a campus application with multiple buildings, go down to the individual buildings and run this report. Don't do it from the very top. The thing will just beat its brains out for a very long time, and you will be nothing but frustrated. So I'm going to go down to the floor 2 level, and you'll be able to see how much faster the report is able to run when getting a smaller bite of the apple, so to speak. And there we go. So, additional reports that we have. Schedules. We talked about this in the schedule video. We can do schedule instances, but I want it at the top of my building. It tells us here, since I changed gears, exactly what it's going to run and where we're at with it. Run the report. And here is all of our schedule information. Now, this is a great example of one to be able to send to the outside world. So we may want to take it out of the iView interface and put it into a PDF or XLS format. Save report as PDF. It's that easy. And iView assembles it for you, puts it into a PDF format so you can download it, save it into your computer, and then email it off to your building managers, for example. And here it is. We can simply hit download, and it will let us select where we're going to go with this. I actually want to put it into my downloads folder. And every report will come up with the same name, just report.pdf. So make sure you name it. You might even want to go so far as to put a date on it. So that way, if you run this regularly, you know which date this is. Here it shows it, and here we can pull it up in our PDF format. Back into our report view. Now notice, we also have XLS, which puts it into a Excel spreadsheet type of format, or CSV, comma separated values. This report does not come out in a CSV type of action. However, if we go to other things, I believe if we go to a point list report. I want to make sure I'm not here forever, so we'll take this down to 10 rows. Run the report. Oh, I was incorrect. It still doesn't give us a CSV type of format. The CSV type of format is what we get when we're utilizing trend report, grabbing data from trends, things like that. More on that later. Next, a very handy report is security, location audit log, and system audit log. So if I want to go into a piece of equipment and I go to my security location audit log, the location is going to show where we are in the system. For the options, I again have that default of 1,000 rows. I can put in the details that I want to have. And, oh, here we go. Support CSV text format. I'll pull that in as well. Accept and run. I didn't have that checked in the others. So now I can see everything for the server room that operator Daryl Trombley ended up doing on that piece of equipment with a date, timestamp, what it was that was changed, and where in the system this was changed. If I roll back up to the top, notice my PDF, XLS, and CSV button is now created. So we'll pull it out in CSV. It's generating the report. Open. And I'll pull this over onto our screen. And you can see date, description, details. And you can see also that this gets a little unwieldy compared to the way we were able to look at it in a PDF format, which is probably the reason why you have to go in and specifically check the box to be able to accomplish utilizing that. We'll exit out of there. No, I don't want to save this. And close. We also have the capability of doing scheduled reports. Scheduled reports end up being the ability to run a report on a regular basis and have it emailed out to us. So, for example, let's see, we'll go to floor 2. We're going to go into our schedule instance. We'll do effective schedules. And notice we have a run button and a schedule button that we have available to us. If we run it, it's going to show us everything that we've got going on floor 2 for this specific date, 12/26/22, because under options, that was what I had in place. So if I want to run this for today, I'll run it. And now we can see what our current active schedule is. Now I can schedule my schedules report to come to me. So it tells us what the task is, effective schedules, location, the description. I just want to put in if I spelled it right, it would be even better. Who the operator is, I want it to run under my credentials. Run report daily. We can also do monthly, weekly, etc. And when do you want to run this report? So I want to run this report every day at 3 a.m. It tells us the next time this thing is going to run for us. And save the report as a PDF, XLS, or CSV. And do we want to email this report? Put in the email address. And email report will be sent as an attachment. And remember all of that email configuration we did previously for alarming? That is the server that this is going to utilize for the process. Apply. Oh, I have to put in a subject. And there we go. We will run that effective schedules report, send it to this operator, or using that operator's credentials, send it to this person with a subject of daily report. And we're going to keep the last 20 schedule history entries so we can see what happened and make sure everything behaved itself. So that's how we schedule reports. Next up, add a legacy report. Legacy reports allow us to use the reporting format that was originally created under iView to be able to run a couple of different means of pulling data out of our system. A quick, easy one is equipment summary. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to put this in. Actually, keep in mind, since I'm at floor 2, when I create a report, it's only going to work at the floor 2 level. So I want to run this report from the top of my system and build it here. I'm going to go back and select equipment summary. I will name it simply summary and create and run. So this is going to go through every single piece of equipment that we have in our iView system, run this report, and it shows us a few quick, easy things right out of the gate. Our location, floor 1, control program, which pieces of equipment this is running, what our color codes are, light blue for our lobby heater, this is what we display on our floor plan. If we have anything going on, such as locked values or alarms, and what the effective schedule is. So this is a quick, easy report. If you want to get in deeper and tweak it, you can go to Design, and you can manipulate things that you want to add into this report. And if you don't want this report any longer, first of all, I want to go up to the top of my page, select my drop-down menu, and you can see my summary report is there. If I go to a different floor, summary is not there because I only created at this point in my system. So here we go. We're already on that page. If I no longer want this report, I simply hit delete report. Yes, I'm sure. And it is gone. Remember, reports are only a means of looking at the information. You're not actually deleting any information. Also, we have the capability with Report Manager, which is what this went up to when I deleted the other, of creating deeper custom reports. So I can add, and there is a lot that you can do within the iView interface at this point. I simply want to take this time to show you how to get here so you can set up all of these pieces of information. You have to go through in the process, or iView won't know how to begin building this thing. I'm just going to throw some gibberish in, apply it, select primary column. We'll make this control programs. And now you can see how this is going to allow us to continue to build in everything that we want to do. And apply. So now that sets it up so we can jump deeper into all of this and set up all of the fields of where we want it to be, what the variables are, what the columns are, and to dig deeper, don't forget your question mark icon in getting into creating custom reports and reports and so forth. Here's our custom reports. So I'm going to close out of that. I don't want to keep this, so I can simply delete, so you can use this at your leisure. And the last thing I want to talk about is being able to put in, let's run a legacy report real quick. Our location audit log. I just want a piece of equipment so it's not running forever. Notice the iView logo. I added that. So you can put in whatever logo you would like on your reports. To be able to do that, we simply go to our system options, report settings, and it shows me the file that I already have uploaded. I want to delete what I already have there. So now I've removed that from my system. If I run this report again, it's no longer there. And to put the logo back in, report settings, choose file. My file, I already know where it's at on my desktop. Open it, upload, and it shows you what it's going to look like. Now I can close out of this, run my report once again, and I have my very own logo in place on my report. Reports are exceedingly helpful in being able to figure out what happened within your facility.